the data to everything platform powering security, IT, and DevOps. All these cool services provided by one tool, that is Splunk. Hello everyone, I'm Anika from Edureka. Welcome you all to this Splunk tutorial video. Before starting the video, let me take you through the agenda of today's session. So I will begin with answering why to use Splunk. Then I will make you understand what is Splunk. Moving on, I will discuss the architecture of Splunk, and then we will move ahead with the components of Splunk, advantages of Splunk, and products offered by Splunk. Then I will discuss some of the customers and use case of Splunk. And before wrapping up the session, I will discuss about the configuration files and will show the installation along with a small demo of how the tool looks like. Meanwhile, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an update. And also, if you are interested in Splunk training and certification, check out the link given in the description box. So let's begin without much ado. I'm going to start with answering why Splunk. So as you can see on the screen, the reasons why to use Splunk are to accelerate digitization, ensure business resilience, and to meet the data opportunities of today and tomorrow. So let's discuss these things in detail. So talking about acceleration of the digitization, the data to everything platform includes everything you need to ensure your digital initiatives succeed. Whether you are just starting to digitize or you were born in the cloud, innovate with confidence with purpose-built solutions driven by AI and machine learning. Talking about ensuring the business resilience is to empower your people to predict, identify, and solve problems in real time. Answer questions across business, IT, DevOps, and security functions with world-class investigative capabilities, intuitive visualizations, and seamless collaboration. And how to meet the data opportunities of today and tomorrow. Splunk's flexible platform and purpose-built solutions scale with you as your data and organization evolves. With a thriving ecosystem of partners and services, Splunk is invested in being your long-term partner to create data-driven outcomes across your organization. Now, what makes the data to everything platform different? Splunk is the only platform that allows you to investigate, monitor, analyze, and act with any structure, any source, any timescale, any insight, and any action. So, talking about any structure, whether structured or unstructured, Splunk is able to ingest any text based data without requiring you to organize it first. Talking about any source, so Splunk ingests data from anywhere, whether it's on premises or in the cloud, from IoT devices to your point of CRM and beyond. Splunk investigates and acts on data fast and seamlessly, whether it's streaming now or historical. So it contributes to any time scale. Talking about any insight, ask any question and leverage advanced ML or AI to get actionable insights across security, IT, DevOps, and beyond. Any action, so it supports broad range of users across the business in acting on their data. It automates actions based on set playbooks or AI-driven decision making and simplify collaborative responses across teams. Now, let's understand what is Splunk. So Splunk can be defined as software which processes and brings out insight from machine data and other forms of big data. Splunk is a one-stop solution as it automatically pulls data from various sources and accepts data in any format such as CSV, JSON, configuration files, etc. Also, it is the easiest tool to install and it allows functionalities like searching, analyzing, reporting, as well as visualizing machine data. It has a huge market in the IT infrastructure and business. So I can sum up Splunk as a software platform to search, analyze, and visualize the machine generated data gathered from the websites, applications, sensors, devices, etc., which make up your IT infrastructure and business. Many big players in the industry are using Splunk, such as Domino's, Adobe, Bosch, Vodafone, Coca-Cola, etc. Now, let's understand the architecture of Splunk. So here you can see the work architecture of Splunk. As you can see, a couple of components connected. So let's discuss it. In a distributed search setup, The search head knows about all indexers in the environment. When a search is submitted by a user, the search head submits that search to each indexer individually and they run in parallel. Each indexer contains a portion of the entire dataset and so returns results for that portion of the data. The search head then aggregates or puts all the results back together, giving the user the final result. By doing it this way, you get your results much faster as the speed of the search increases linearly with each additional indexer that's added. And the management console host, it is a centralized configuration manager and it can distribute configurations, apps, and content updates to deployment clients. We will understand these components like forwarders, indexers, search head in detail in the later part of the session. Now moving on, here you can see one diagram. This architecture is actually the diagram of how everything is connected and how communication happens. So first we will understand these components. Talking about Splunk knowledge base, it uses events, timestamps, tags, fields to get different insights. Knowledge manager manages this data to solve real world problems. This user and control access, it creates different users and assign them roles. And roles determine the access and permissions of any user assigned to that role. And what is this run script? So in Splunk Enterprise, you can run an alert script when an alert triggers for building custom applications. Now, as you can see, the network ports. So network ports monitor the TCP or UDP ports to add data from the syslog service on one or more machines, basically for input. The monitor files specify a path to a file or directory, and the monitor processor consumes any new data written to that file or directory. This is how you can monitor live application logs, such as those coming from Web Access Logs, Java 2 Platform Enterprise Edition, or .NET applications, and so on. Splunk Enterprise monitors and indexes the file or directory as new data appears. With distributed searches, we can get the search head to send search requests to a group of indexers or search peers which perform the actual searches on their indexes. The search head then merges the results back to the user. So here, this architecture works in such a way that Splunk CLI or Splunk Web Interface or any other interface interacts with the search head. This communication happens via REST API. You can then use search head to make distributed searches, set up knowledge objects for operational intelligence, perform scheduling or alerting, and creating reports or dashboards for visualization. You can also run scripts for automating data forwarding from remote Splunk forwarders to predefined network ports. After that, you can monitor the files that are coming at real time and analyze if there are any anomalies and set alert or reminders accordingly. And you can also perform routing, cloning, and load balancing of the data that is coming in from the forwarder before they are stored in an indexer. You can also create multiple users to perform various operations on the index data. Now, moving on, let's see the components of Splunk. There are several types of Splunk Enterprise components. They fall into two broad categories. As you can see on the screen, the processing components and management components. So the processing components handle the data, while management components support the activities of the processing components. Now let's understand them in detail. Talking about processing components, in a distributed environment, you typically allocate the segments of the data pipeline to different processing components. These are the available processing component types, as you can see on the screen, the forwarder, indexer, and search head. And you can see the flow also, like how the data is given as input, then it is parsed, then the indexing is done, then the searching part comes. So talking about forwarder, forwarder collects data from remote machines and forwards the data to the indexer in real time. And the indexer processes the incoming data in real time, stores and indexes the data on disk. And search head, the end users interact with Splunk through search head and allows users to do searching, analysis, and visualization. Let's see the management components. So the management components include license master, monitoring console, deployment server, indexer cluster master node, and search head cluster deployer. So as we have seen in the previous slide, these management components help the processing components in the activities. Now let's talk about the advantages of Splunk. Splunk collects data in real time from multiple systems. It accepts data in any form like log files, CSV, JSON, configuration files, etc. Splunk can pull data from database, cloud, and any other OS. It analyzes and visualizes the data for better performance. And Splunk gives alerts or event notifications as well. It provides real time visibility and it satisfies industry needs like horizontal scalability, that is using many systems in parallel. Now, let's see the products of Splunk. So, the Splunk's products fall into following categories as you can see on the screen: Splunk Enterprise, Splunk Cloud, and Splunk Live. So, this Splunk Enterprise is used by companies which have large IT infrastructure and IT driven business. It helps in gathering and analyzing the data from websites, applications, devices, and sensors, etc. While the Splunk Cloud, it is the cloud-hosted platform with same features as the enterprise version. It can be availed from Splunk itself or through the AWS cloud platform. So it is compatible with AWS cloud platform as well. And Splunk Lite, it allows search, report, and alert on all the log data in real time from one place. It has limited functionalities and features as compared to the other two versions, as it is the lighter version of Splunk product. Now moving ahead, let's see the customers of Splunk. The customers of Splunk include, as you can see on the screen, like Cisco, Bosch, IBM, Adobe, Facebook, Salesforce, Domino's, Visa, LinkedIn, Staples, BBC, and so on. Now I'm going to discuss a use case for better understanding. So today we will discuss about Domino's use case. So as you can see, the Domino's had the following challenges like omni-channel presence, that is actually different kinds of channels present, several touch points, multiple systems for delivery, huge customer database, manual search and error prone system, reactive mode, and less visibility. So, answer was Splunk. So, all these challenges were solved using Splunk. How we have solved that problem? With the help of interactive map, real time feedback, dashboard, payment process, promotional support, and performance monitor. Now let's see how this interactive map works. So it shows all the orders coming from across US in real time. It brought employee satisfaction. Talking about real time feedback, so employees constantly see what customers are saying and it helped them understand customer expectations. The dashboard. It is used to keep score and set targets and compare performance with previous week. Payment process analyze the speed of different payment modes and determine an error-free payment modes. And then we have promotional support. It tracks how various promotional offers are impacting in real time. Initially, determining the impact of promotions took almost a day, but with the help of Splunk, it was so much faster. And the performance monitor the performance of Domino's in-house developed point of sale systems. Now let's see the problem statement and it will give you a better understanding. So Domino's had no clear visibility into what offer works the best in terms of offer type, cultural differences at a region level, devices used, time of purchase, or order revenue. They required insights on customer behavior and customer response to offer. Now, with the help of Splunk, as we have seen the working or the architecture of Splunk in the previous section, so promotional data along with offline orders, mobile orders, website orders, all were forwarded to indexers with the help of remote forwarder and were given to the search head from where it was connected to the users, and different functionalities offered by Splunk helped the process to be very smooth. Now talking about indexer for data storage and processing. So in Domino's case, in the parsing stage, only relevant data is converted into events like customer region, order revenue, time of purchase, devices used by customers, and coupons or the offers used. And in the indexing stage, events are sorted and indexed for storage based on sales by geography, order revenue, time of purchase, device preferred by customers, and coupons and the offers used. Now, as you can see, a diagram of indexer stages. So first data input, then event parsing, then writing to the disk. And from disk, searching happens. So this is how indexer for data storage and processing works out. Now search head for analysis and visualization. So as you can see different charts here, so these are just a representational data, and the charts, they are not the actual figures. It is just for the understanding. So Domino's used search head for analysis and visualization in such a way that it gets the insights like which offer works in which geography, how does the customer behavior changes with respect to changes in order revenue, and what time of the day is most appropriate for the offers. So with the help of Splunk dashboard, they have created different charts which were giving the following insights. And now, as we have seen, there are so many customers of Splunk. So the customers' benefit include that by keeping mission critical applications and infrastructure up and running, 50% faster time to market for new apps was provided. By modernizing and strengthening cyber defenses, 70% of the risk of data breach, IP theft, and fraud was lowered. And by releasing apps faster and improving developer efficiency, 80% of the downtime was reduced. Now let's talk about the configuration and installation. So these configuration files can be found at three places, that are Splunk_home under etc under system under default. The other one is the Splunk_home under etc under system and under local. And one more is Splunk_home under etc and under apps. So configuration files play a very important role in the functioning of your Splunk environment. These configuration files contain Splunk system settings, configuration settings, and app configuration settings. And you can edit these files, and accordingly, changes will be reflected in your Splunk environment. However, the changes made to configuration files will be taken into effect only if the Splunk instance is restarted. The path where these configuration files are stored is consistent in all operating systems. They are always stored in Splunk_home, the directory where Splunk is installed. There is another path where configuration files are stored, that is Splunk_home under etc under users. In this folder, user specific settings in user interface, user specific configurations, and preference will be stored. As an administrator, you can also store user specific settings for multiple Splunk users. Everything you see in the UI is configurable or modifiable via the configuration file. In fact, there are a lot of options that cannot be edited via UI, but it is possible via CLI or by directly editing a configuration file. Now let me show you the installation part, and then we can have a demo of how Splunk looks like. So let me show you the installation part from scratch. So what we can do is I'll go to my browser and simply we will search Splunk or Splunk installation or Splunk download, anything. First one, I'm giving this Splunk, so you can get the link Splunk download now and all. Now here you can see you are at the home page of our Splunk. Now here what you can see is you have this form. So if you are doing it for the first time, you have to sign up, right? You have to register for it. You have to enter the details in this form, like first name, last name. If you're working somewhere, the job title and your email address, phone number, company, wherever you are working, then the country, your postal code, your username, password, and then you will have to check this thing to agree with the terms and conditions of Splunk. And also you have to check this one where you have to agree to the privacy policies of Splunk. Those you can go through once if you want, and then you can just click on create your account and your account will be created. Then you can log in to your account from here or some here, and then you can install it. You can download Splunk Enterprise. Okay, so I already have an account because I've already registered for it. So I'll just log into my account. Okay, so I'll click on login and I'll give my username and then I'll give my password. And with this, I'll click on login. Now, once I'll get logged in, then I'll have option to download the Splunk Enterprise. Now here, as you can see, multiple options like multiple versions will be present. So for now, you can see for Windows, we have this Windows 10, Windows Server 2016 and 2019. So MSI file will be available. For Linux, we have the other ones. For Mac OS, we have other ones. Now, as I'm using Windows right now, so I will download the Windows 64-bit. Okay, so I'll click on just download now. So my software will be downloaded. And once that will be downloaded, it will be present in my downloads folder. And from there, I can install it in my system. So let's just wait for it. It will get downloaded. And one more thing, like you are downloading Splunk Enterprise 8.2.0 for Windows. Okay, so this is the version 8.2.0. And there are multiple past versions available according to your Windows, like it is for Windows 10 if you are using Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows 8.1. So accordingly, you can download the past versions that will be present. So you can just, I'll just show you. Maybe you can just search Splunk old versions maybe. Okay. So older Splunk releases, I'll just go to the first link, and here now you can find, right? So for Windows 8.1, this is the 8.1.4, and we are downloading 8.2.0. So the latest version we are downloading. Okay. So these are the older versions. You can see here for Windows 10, and you can find for Windows 8 as well. Right. We'll scroll through it, and so you can find for Windows 8.1, for 10 as well, and there will be some for Windows 7 also. According to your system capabilities, your system configurations, you can download it and install it. So let's just see if our Splunk is downloaded. Yeah, so it is almost downloaded. I will just go to this one. Yeah, so it is downloaded. We'll show in folder. It will be present in our downloads folder. So here you can see our MSI file is there. Now we will install it. Okay, so simply we'll click on install. And it is, as I have mentioned in the starting of the tutorial, that Splunk installation is one of the easiest thing. Okay, so it is like a normal software installation. Now here you can see this is the installer, Splunk Enterprise installer. We'll check this box to accept the license agreement, and we can just view the license agreement also if you want. And you can see the default installation options over here, like this enterprise will be installed under our C drive, under the program files, and under Splunk's folder. Okay, and then we will run Splunk Enterprise as local system account, and a start menu shortcut will also be created with this. And if you want to customize these options, you can just click on customize options and then you can customize it. So I'm going with the default settings only, so I'll just click on next. And now we have to give some username and the password. You can create it over here. So let me just give me some username and let me give password. And we'll click on next. Now click install to begin the installation. Okay, and here I have checked this thing. It is by default check. If you want, you can uncheck it if you don't want any start menu shortcut for Splunk Enterprise. Okay, I want it, so I kept it as check. Now I click on install. So it will take some time, like installing other softwares also. It is the easiest tool to install like any other normal software. Let me just give the password. And meanwhile, let me tell you that Splunk is the tool which has been used by 91 out of 100 Fortune organizations. And as we know, Splunk Enterprise, Splunk Cloud, and Splunk Lite is available. For Splunk Enterprise, there is 60 days free trial. For Splunk Cloud, we have 14 days free trial. And for Splunk Lite, also we have some 60 days free trial. Okay, so Splunk Enterprise, our local machine, and Splunk Cloud, we can just access it on web as a cloud. Okay, cloud service. Now it is copying the new files. So once it will be completed, we'll click on the finish, and then our Splunk installation part will be done. And then we can have our Splunk Enterprise ready to use, which we will see in the demo part. Once we have our Splunk Enterprise installed, we can start using the different features provided by it, and there will be multiple apps like add-on apps also which we can install through Splunk Enterprise itself, and we can make use of Splunk dashboards, we can make use of Splunk Enterprise Security, the search app, and multiple other apps which will be available once we'll be logged into our Splunk Enterprise. So let's just get it installed, and then we'll log into it, and then we'll see the features. So as it is getting installed, let me tell you some of the products of Splunk, like Splunk Enterprise, Splunk Cloud, Splunk Data Stream Processor, Splunk IT Service Intelligence, Splunk On Call, Splunk Insights for AWS Cloud Monitoring, and Splunk Enterprise Security, Splunk User Behavior Analytics, Splunk Phantom, Splunk Infrastructure Monitoring, and Splunk APM. So these are some other products also available. So Splunk has a wide variety of products, but we know the major categories of Splunk products are the Splunk Enterprise, Splunk Cloud, and Splunk Lite. And let me tell you one interesting thing, that there is something called as Splunk Base. So Splunk Base is a community hosted by Splunk where users can go to find apps and add-ons for Splunk, which can improve the functionality and usefulness of Splunk, as well as provide a quick and easy interface for specific use cases or vendor products. So as of 2019, there were more than 2,000 apps available on the frame. And integrations on Splunk Base include the Splunk app for New Relic, the Forescout extended module for Splunk, and Splunk app for AWS. So with this, our Splunk Enterprise is installed. As you can see over here, this Splunk Enterprise was successfully installed, and it will see launch browser with Splunk Enterprise. So I'll keep this one checked. So what will happen is we will get a browser with Splunk Enterprise login. Okay, so let me just click on finish. And now I'll get the browser where I will be having Splunk Enterprise. So this will be your URL where you can access Splunk. So now here you have to give your username and the password. Now here, if you're signing in for the first time, you can give this username as admin, as mentioned over here, and then you can give the password which you have created when you install the instance. Okay, so when we were installing, right, we have given in one wizard, we have given the username and the password, confirm password. So if you do not remember the username, you can give it as admin, and the password you have to give the same. But I have already signed in, so and I remember my username also. So I'll just give the username and the password which I have given. Now we'll click on sign in, and that's it. With this, we have entered to our homepage of Splunk 8.2.0 or the Splunk Enterprise. Now here you can see multiple things like overview of Splunk software has been given to you. You can just read it out, and different links are present. You can just go through these hyperlinks and you can read about it. So let me just click on got it. Now here you can see multiple apps present, the administrator, messages, settings, activity, help, find, okay, and the apps over here, search and reporting, Python upgrade readiness app, Splunk Essentials for Cloud and Enterprise 8.2, Splunk Secure Gateway, and these are the things. You can just go through these things, you can read about it, and you can start using it. So with this, we have successfully installed the Splunk on our system. Now let's see the demo, or we'll see how Splunk actually looks like, what are its components and the features provided. Now I will show you the tool Splunk Cloud. So we will see how that looks like, how it works. So let me just go to my browser. So I will simply here, I will go for Splunk Cloud or something. Okay, then here you can go. So try Splunk Cloud for free. So as I've told you earlier as well. So Splunk Enterprise, Splunk Cloud, and Splunk Lite. All these are available with the free trials for limited period of time. So as I have shown you how to create the account, how to sign up, and then how to log in with Splunk Enterprise, the same thing goes with Splunk Cloud. So I've already signed up for the Splunk Cloud. So let me just log in to my account available. So I'll give my username and then I'll give my password. One thing is that with Splunk Enterprise, you have to, install it in your system. It will be the local one, and then you can use it. Okay. But with Splunk Cloud, you don't have to install any software at your local machine. You just have to access it on the browser. So it is basically the cloud one. Okay. So as we have discussed earlier also, Splunk is compatible with AWS Cloud as well. Right now I'm using Splunk Cloud itself. Now here, if you have not started your trial, you can just click on this start trial. Now here I'm getting the notification as you have a Splunk Cloud trial already. Okay, so I'll just click here to see my existing Splunk trial. All right, I'll go to my home page of Splunk Cloud. There we can see the different services, the features provided. All these things are same as Splunk Enterprise, but that is the software installed on your system and it is the cloud version of the same. Now here, as you can see over here, my Splunk Cloud trial. So sizes are like 5 GB. I can upgrade it, but it will ask for some amount. And the start date you can see over here and the expiration date you can see over here. And the instance name is my instance. I can edit this as well. So if I want to edit this, for example, I want to edit my instance name, right? Manika's, okay, it should have only alphanumeric instances. So I have Monika's instance. I will give it and I will save it like this. I can reset my password. I can access the instances. And here you can see my username, my email address, my status is owner and product roles as we have discussed earlier. So I have the admin role as well, and I can edit the user roles as well. So I can get it for power, I can get it for user as well. And admin is already given, it is by default. So every owner will have the admin role assigned. So I've saved this one as well. Now you can see over here, the product rules which I have are admin, power, and user. Now I can see over here what are my expired product sizes, start date, expiration date, instance name, and all. But right now I do not have any expired one. I have the active one. So here you can see the active one. Now let me just start with it. Now I will access my instance, that is Monika's instance. So it will be loaded, and we have Splunk Lite that actually has limited features, but the Splunk Cloud and Splunk Enterprise are full-fledged, but only difference is that Splunk Enterprise needs to be installed while this is the cloud version over here. Now here you can see if any of the notifications will come under this tab, that is messages or notifications we can say. Right now I do not have any message. Then comes the settings part. Here I can add data, and we can edit the settings related to data, knowledge, system, user and authentication, distributed environment, as we have seen roles and users, tokens, even the password management, authentication methods and all we can change over here. Now in knowledge, as we have seen in this Splunk architecture, we had searches, we had lookups, we had interfaces, we have alert actions, all those things we can change over here. Now let me just show you one like searches, reports, and alerts. So right now I have 0 searches, reports, and the alerts. Okay, because I have not performed any of the actions over here. Now let me just go over here. We'll click on this logo and we will reach the home page of our Splunk Cloud account. Now here you can see search and reporting. And let me just show you this activity part. So here we have jobs and triggered alerts that you can learn by exploring. And here Splunk Cloud Admin, here user settings, preferences, and we can log out from here. This is the support and services. In case of any support you need from the community, from Splunk, you can just go to this one. Now starting with this, these are the apps available. Okay. And in Splunk Enterprise, you need to install these apps as well. But with cloud, it is already present over here. So let me just start with search. So in search history, yeah, I have searched it like a minute ago. So this is my search history over here. So as you can see, we can get with the time and the action, we can add it to search. The same thing, I can search again by using add to search. As we have seen in the Domino's use case also, there was search that was helping Domino's people to get the customers' expectations and what they are searching for and to provide the relevant offers or the coupons. So we can just press search over here. Now we can get the format as well and the summary, preview. Now for the visualization, what we can do, we can go for the column chart. So Splunk visualizations, you can see over here, line chart. This is the area chart. This is the column chart and so on, like bar chart, pie chart, all these. So in whatever way you want to visualize the data, you can visualize it. Now let me just go for the bubble chart. Now you will see a bubble chart will be created. But for that, we should give some values over it. So no, I'm not going to give the value over here. We will see in the other way where we will have some data set. So right now we do not have the data actually. We have just searched about it. Now let me just go back. Yeah, under analytics. Now here you can see you do not have permissions to X of user SC admin. Okay, so this was the username provided to me when I had signed up for it. Afterwards, I have changed it. Now here you can see matrix datasets, no accelerated datasets available. We will see how to get them. Okay, and no alerts. I did not get any alerts. And the matrix, so we do not have any. Now you can see the disk objects, the resource usage over here or the mlog, bucket matrix, cache configuration and all. So let's just go for our data set. So this kind of example of data sets which are available. For example, we will take Splunk's internal audit logs. Okay, so it is a sample one and its name is audit. Now we can kind of edit it, edit the data model, or we can extend it in the table. So let's just start with extending it in table. So here you can see we can get that log data in the table format. Okay, the time, the host, source, all these things we can get. We can kind of summarize it also. It will be sorted in descending order. And the filter also we can apply, we can clean, we can summarize it in the stats. Now we need to apply how we want the statistics. According to the requirement, we can do that. So now let me just cancel it. And we can add new field or the format timestamp, or we can make use of lookups also, or we can include some evaluate expressions. So that is, this eval is actually the evaluation expression. It's related to some of the calculations. Now let's just go to the dataset again. So we can explore this data. Now owner is nobody because it is the sample data provided to everybody. And application, it is under the search one. We have come to first application, that is search. So it comes under search application and it's like sharing through app. Okay, now we just explore it. So let's visualize it with pivot. Okay, so investigation is also available. Now the data set which we have selected from the sample data sets available from Splunk's internal logs. So count of audit is 93,833 over here. Now we can kind of plot it on line chart. So the data will be plotted in the line chart as you can see over here. So count of audit was 105, then it increased to 6,462. So this is the sample one for your applications, your cloud data, your machine data, all those things can be plotted. And you can see over here some multiple filters. You can add the filters like action, host, source type, source user, all those filters you can apply over here, range you can give. Then you can apply the filters on the axes. As we know, this will be the x-axis, y-axis, and we can modify whether to show the labels or not. What are the periods? So it will be like automatic, or we can set it to years, months. So let's just say for seconds. Now you can see over here that says the specified span would result in too many rows. That's why here you can see this. If we will talk about the seconds one, here the chart will not be that much clear or specific because it will result into too many rows. That will be more than 50,000 rows. So that's not a good thing. So let's just go for hours. Now you can see according to the hour, let's just set it to auto once. So it is basically the most optimized one, the automatic one. And then label rotation we can change like this. Here you can see it is vertically arranged, here it is horizontally arranged, so that also we can change. Similarly for y-axis, then the colors and some null values, all those things we can see. Then we have area chart, we have column chart, we have bar chart, we have pie charts, scatter chart, bubble chart, all these things. And they have single value also. So according to the single or the particular value, we can get it over here. This is the radial gauge. So it depends. Yeah. So as you would have seen in some internet speed test meters, in those kinds of data, this radial gauge will be helpful. Filler gauge, marker gauge. Now let's just go back and explore the other apps also. And yeah, one more thing, like you can get all these data as a report or the dashboard panel. We will see a dashboard also. So we have Splunk dashboards and we can clear this data. We can edit the data set also. This editing the data set option came initially as well. So we can edit it accordingly. And documentation is also present in case you have any doubts how the things work. You can just go through this documentation as well. Once you start with Splunk, you'll get the proper documentations as well. If you'll click on download, so in JSON format, these logs will be downloaded to your system. And you can rename also. or you can delete it as well. So let's just go back to other apps. Now, cloud monitoring console. So as we have seen in Domino's use case, monitoring was also done, which helped the Domino's people to track the things, to track the orders, to track the offers, the trends. Now you can see here. So current active users, average daily users, search count, indexes with events, total indexes, ingest volume, all these data can there. So we can get the alerts accordingly, but we do not have any triggered alert because we have not performed any of the operation on our data. I'm just showing you how the things work over here. So these are the configured alerts, which are not the triggered ones. These are the alerts which are already present over here, which are configured to our Splunk. Indexing. So let's just see the indexing part. Indexing throughput will not be available because we have not indexed any of our data. Similarly, search usage, license usage, also you can see about that. Forwarders, as we have seen the role of forwarders in architecture of Splunk. Now let's just see the other one. So this is Splunk Secure Gateway. So for your payment methods and all, for the security of IT and DevOps, so this app can be used. So for this security one, we need to opt for this app and we have to agree. Right now we do not need, so we'll just go back and explore the other apps. And one fact I would like to tell you that 91 out of Fortune 100 companies have moved to Splunk, and the universal forwarder, which is basically forwards the request to the indexer. So we need to download the Splunk universal forwarder, install it, and then the credentials we will get. So whenever required, we can make the use of these things. We can find more apps as new updates are coming, new apps are coming, and according to the requirements, we can just find more apps. We can install them. Some will be embedded, some we need to install. Like here in Universal Forwarder has to be installed, even in the cloud one also. Now, so this is for searching. The manual is present. It uses Splunk Search Processing Language, that is SPL. For pivot, we have seen for pivot, we can have different kinds of charts, graphs. So these use pivot to create tables and charts with SPL, and dashboard and visualizations we have seen. So we can create and edit dashboards using interactive editors or simple XML. Now here, I'll just show you. So it's kind of manual, or we can say the documentation. Here you can see how to get started with this. Whenever you have any doubt, whenever you are dealing with your data, you can just go through it and you can start having that. Just go back to this one. Similarly, we have for pivot, for search, we have the manuals present over here. Now, so we have seen about the settings, the activity. So we have seen about triggered alerts. We do not have any triggered alert, but we have configured alerts. And if you want to search about something, you can just search. We will just search about the dashboard. So it's not present. Yeah, but we do not have any event related to dashboard. So we can have the patterns, statistics, visualization, but your search isn't generating any statistics or visualization results. So here are some possible ways to get results. But because we are not dealing with any of the data right now, that's why we are not getting any of the reports over here or the statistics. Let's just click on this dashboard. Examples for Dashboard Studio, Intro to Dashboard Studio. Now, Intro to Classic Dashboards. Here you can see, so Splunk dashboards are something which are actually the views. There you can get the visualization, you can do the analysis, you can have all the charts and all. Here you can see this is classic dashboards, and here you can see this dashboard studio. So this classic dashboard, it was present like from initial times, but this dashboard studio has been launched recently. It is actually a kind of, it has a Splunk dashboard application. It has some latest and advanced features. It is the updated version of classic dashboards. So you can make use of that according to the requirement. Now you can see 8 dashboards are present: end-to-end WebSocket test, integrity check of installed files, job details dashboards. So these are kind of sample ones. So let's just see one of them. And all these are classic one. If you want to make use of new dashboard app, you can make use of Dashboard Studio. So let me just take single value test. So here's single value is present at our dashboard, and we can edit this one and we can save it. We can give the title, ID, something, or yeah, and one more thing, like here in our data set, we can create the table view. We have seen that already here, like while exploring edit one, we have extended that in the table part. Now I will show you creating the dashboard also. So here, clicking on this dashboard tab, these are the dashboards present, and we have searched about it also. Now we want to create a new dashboard. So dashboard title we have to give some description like about what it is. The permissions, these are private, or we can share it in the app as well. And how do you want to build your dashboard? So here we can see the two options, classic dashboards and dashboard studio. So this is the classic one which was present already, and this one is the new one. You can explore this one. Now starting with the classic dashboard. So let me just, I will give my dashboard one optional, like a sample one. And I'm giving it as private, and I'm choosing the classic dashboard. Let me just create it. Now we know that the dashboards are actually made up of panels. So these, we need to click on the add panel to start it. So we will just click over here and add. These panels are actually the modules of the data. So let me just get it from clone from dashboard. Yeah. So in dashboards, we can get it from the reports. We can get it from our data present somewhere in the local machine or some machine generated data. We can clone from other dashboards also. We can add some pre-built panels. For example, we have included some of the panels which were already created, and we can use them in any of the dashboards we are going to create. So let me just clone from dashboard, some of the dashboards which were present already. Let me just get it from request tracing. Okay. Now what data you want to, like what part of that dashboard we want to clone. Now, for example, I will just get all request. Okay. So panel cannot be cloned because it includes one or more post-process searches. So wherever there are one or more post-process, means after the process, whenever that those searches are included, those cannot be cloned. So these are some of the rules you will get whenever you will play around with the Splunk. Any of these cannot be cloned. Let me just go for this one. Okay. In the new one, in events, we do not have any event, although, but it's just use of tokens. Okay, yeah. So as we know, in any of the applications, we have some tokens. So what tokens we are going to use? So according to your application, your requirement, you can add. Right now, I have not created any of these things. That's why I'm not available with all the data. But this is how it works. From reports, errors in the last 24 hours, 0 actions. This we can add to dashboard. Now this search did not return any events because we did not get any of the errors right now. But still this dashboard has been created. Now we can save this, my dashboard copy. We can change the name of this dashboard. We can change the permissions also, or we can simply save it as it is. As let me just save it. Now we can export it PDF, or we can schedule PDF delivery, like whenever you want to deliver it to someone, and we can print it out. So this is how this works. So these dashboards will be creating different charts and graphs according to your data, and that you can print also. You can get it as PDF, and then you can discuss it. You can have a review of that. In such a way, it helps IT, DevOps, and all the other companies which are using Splunk. So with this, we have kind of explored the Splunk tool, the Splunk Cloud one. And the same working will be there with the Splunk Enterprise that will be installed on your system. So I've shown you how this Splunk Cloud works. Similarly, Splunk Enterprise will also work, but the Splunk Lite has some limited features, so that might not have all the features available. And you can just go to search and reporting, the first application which we have seen, this one. So we have searched also, and we can analyze our data with the table views, which we have already seen. Now, and anytime you need any help, you can just go to the documentation tutorial whenever you are dealing with your data and you're not getting something, you can just get the manual over here. And so with this, I can kind of log out from here and then log in again. So this is how our Splunk cloud looks like. This is how Splunk helps many of the organizations with their problems. With this, we have come to the end of the session. Hope it was useful for you and you have enjoyed it. Do not forget to like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!